So I'm with Pastor Madiba, the man who took on the bamboo challenge, and decided to share with the world what this amazing soap has done for him. I must say, I'm very impressed by the results.
Look, I bath with this soap twice a day, but the beauty about it is that what I do is actually I heard from one of my mentors who said, no, don't just bath, just put it in your face, leave it for some times, and then rinse it off. I shave almost every week.
All right.
Yes, it helps you to eliminate the
bumps.
There is a bump.
Wow.
Yes. Even the itchiness. You know, sometimes after shave, then you feel like, you know what, your head is itchy, you want to scratch it, but this one eliminates it. That's why I use pinfwash.
Maybe men out there didn't know that as women, we also look at their skin. So, yes, we do look at your skin, and we'd love to see that. We do. So we'd like to see that flawless skin, well moisturized, no bumps, no crocodile skin. Please take care of your skin, men. Thank you.
Welcome once more to our Longrich Breakfast Testimony Show. I'm excited this morning. We're having a product segment show. Or what is it? Product segment with Dr. Lesego.
I think it's product segment.
Exactly. I think one had a very early morning today, so the brain is still a little bit off. But I think as we talk about the products, you'll brief me as to which product should I use to wake my brain up. Dr. Lesego, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. My partner in crime, I missed you. Where have you been?
I have been busy.
I can imagine, but I'm glad that you're
I've
here.
been busy collecting some testimonies, which we will be sharing in the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
Very excited about that.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, but you've been doing a very good job.
Thank you for the compliment and the confidence that you guys have on me. Ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, the Longrich business is actually centered or embedded within the products. Today, it's actually a very critical and important show for us. For us, it's not even just a show. It's actually an educational program whereby we try to empower everyone, that is an LBO, to make sure that as we go out into the market, we are able to communicate the truth, to the people that we engage with, and make sure that we also offer good service, and advise them properly as well in line with the products that we have. And I'm glad to have our very own Dr. Lesego, with us today to make sure that we can actually focus on a few products. And so Dr. Lesego, as I've just welcomed you, I'll just hand over to you right now. Just tell us which product you'd want us to focus on as a start.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about water. And Pastor Sifiso is not just about telling people the truth about the products, but also educating them about the importance of the products, of course, with truthfulness.
That's it.
We live in an age where everyone has to be responsible for their own body.
Exactly.
God has entrusted us with these bodies, and it's our responsibility to look after our bodies. And today, no one has got an excuse. Knowledge is freely available.
That's true.
So today we're going to talk about water.
Water, wow.
Free.
I like that.
Water is free, at least to most of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, I like the point that you're raising. Water is free. Basically what you're saying is water can be accessible from many points. But is it important as to what type of water to use or consume?
Of course. The quality of water that we're drinking today has become extremely important.
Okay.
Considering, the number of diseases and illnesses that can actually be as a result of drinking incorrect or poor quality of water.
Oh, I like that point.
Yeah?
It's not necessarily incorrect, but it's poor quality.
It's poor quality water. Yeah. And we do know that exists.
Yeah.
There has been a move or a shift rather, from tap water to bottled water.
Okay.
And the big question that we ask today is, why has that been? Besides, the convenience that you're able to drink water from anywhere, but are there other reasons why more and more people are moving away from tap water to bottled water?
You're touching on a critical point. Myself, I'm not going to mention the area itself, but one of the places where I used to live, I remember one time I opened the tap, and out of the tap came water, but it also had some sprouts, you could see that actually there's some plants that are growing through, exactly, not even, algae I could understand, but I realized that, when you take a seed and put it in the cotton wool and water, and it start, like bean sprouts, something like that.
That's
And I said to myself, my goodness, what type of life is actually going in there? I don't even know what this plant is. From that day, I told myself, I don't want to take tap water anymore. So I'm one of those people that you're talking about.
Of course. And I mean, we do know that in a lot of European countries, tap water is a no-no. You may not drink water from the tap. And that's because, research has shown that the quality of tap water is not, good for human consumption.
Wow.
And, in South Africa, we have got parts of our country where water from the tap, human beings should not be drinking water from the tap. I'll give an example of a place called Hammanskraal.
Okay.
Yeah, the water there had been tested, and there's been, they've identified some level of contamination, and people there should not be drinking that tap water until it passes.
Yeah, I remember it's been in the news for a while.
It's been in the news for a while. But, there are instances where one would open tap water and you would see it brown.
Exactly.
Sometimes the tap water tastes a little bit offish. And we now querying the amount of chlorine that is used in tap water.
Okay.
One of the advantages of tap water is that it is alkaline, so it's good for us. It does not consist of high levels of acidity.
Okay.
But we know the municipality will use bleach to purify the water.
Okay. Okay.
And, I like saying I want to strongly believe that water it passes the quality checks at the source.
Sure.
The question is what happens at home. Are there microorganisms that are inside the tap?
Exactly. Maybe exactly what I've just spoken about now.
Exactly. And more research is proving that we have to think twice about the quality of our tap water.
As you're saying this, it just now triggers something in my mind to say, the statements that you'd actually pick up, that that particular city or municipality has got blue drop type of water and all that. Their water is actually blue drop certified, something like that, or award. What is it? What do they normally say it? I think it's blue drop.
It's blue drop, yeah.
Exactly. That when you look at that, it sort of seeks to build confidence among the citizens to say our water is good. And I know that for us in Gauteng, especially around Joburg, there is that view as well that our water is good. Is that exactly what you're talking about when you say our water could be alkaline, which is good,
it is.
and it would actually be pure from the source, but we don't know what happens through the reticulation system.
I have mentioned chlorine, which is, if you now know someone or you live with someone who's just been diagnosed with cancer, they will tell you that now they need to switch to alkaline diet, meaning they have to watch what they drink and watch what they eat. So and now people are switching more towards bottled water that's alkaline. They're switching more to bottled water that does not have chlorine. Let's quickly talk about water from the alkaline cup from Longrich. So what Longrich has come up with is a cup that can actually remove or eliminate chlorine from tap water. Now, once chlorine has been removed from tap water, the cup has got tourmaline stones, which will increase the mineral content of the water. Now, talking about blue drop, which to me speaks to alkalinity. So our bodies, and it's common knowledge, at least I would like to believe, people know that they have to drink water so that they can hydrate their bodies. But there is more to that than just for hydrating. About 65% of your body is made out of cells. And we know that cells, they live in water. Cells are important because they store nutrients. They feed different parts of the body. Now it's become important that you consider really the quality of water that you're drinking. So bottled water was introduced obviously to address challenges that came with tap water. But we do have some of the brands that we have been able to identify that have got water that's got high pH, or rather a lower pH.
Okay.
So I will show you this, which is a pH indicator. So pH indicator, it's a scale of 0 to 7, and on the other side is 7 all the way up to 14.
Sure.
So anything below 7 indicates that it's an acidic pH.
Okay.
Anything above 7 is an alkaline pH.
Okay.
Now, our bodies have got a pH of about 7.35, 7.36.
That's it.
That's how God made a human body.
Okay.
And at the pH, we will be able to function, or the body is able to function optimally.
All right.
But now, because of the food that we drink,
Sure.
because of because of diet, because of stress and many other things. I mean, there's also, some people who have got an excess buildup of lactic acid, which contributes to muscle pains. Because of all of that, we're now having to look at how we can now alkalinize the body.
Okay.
And water, especially from the alkaline cup, serves an important function of assisting with alkalinizing the body.
Okay, so basically that need, would it then, what you're saying is due to the lifestyle, the type of food that we eat, the pH or maybe the acidic pH level in our body would actually increase. Hence the need to make sure that we alkalinize our body.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that. So it's basically similar to saying, due to the lifestyle and the type of food that we eat, you might need to have some, supplements to make sure that you enhance your body. So in this case, we're talking about water. Alkaline water would then enhance your body in that way. I like that. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a little experiment. So this is a pH indicator, if you don't mind holding
Sure, I'll hold it for you. Got it.
All right. So I have got this brand of water.
Okay.
And if I look at the mineral content, it has got calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, it has got sulfate, it has got nitrate, fluoride, iron, and if you look right at the bottom, you can see pH, it's
6.5.
6.5.
Okay.
So if we were to look at the pH indicator, it's somewhere here.
All
so
right.
just remember, 6.5 means that it is
Acidic. Okay.
Many people would use a rule of thumb of drinking 2 liters of water a day.
Okay.
So if you drink so it will be about 4 of these. That's amount of acid that you're pumping inside your body.
My goodness. Okay.
All right. So now, because they have indicated to us that the water is acidic, we want to prove for ourselves.
Okay.
And Longrich designed or developed the alkaline cup so that it can remove the acidity from the water, and it can make it alkaline.
Okay.
So this is water from the bottle. I'm going to take the same water and put it in an alkaline cup so that I can activate it.
I see.
Okay.
You talk about activating it. What do you mean by that?
So it means that I am removing, so whatever benefits come with the alkaline cup, it's basically just activating all those.
I see.
So the tourmaline stones that will release the minerals, also the removal of acidity.
So the filtration as well?
Filtration, removal of microorganisms, which I spoke about, eliminating chlorine, and many other
do you need the strong hand to help you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And how do I do it? Is there any specific way to do it? Or?
Not necessarily, but you do 10 up.
Okay.
And then you tilt it another 10, and then you shake it another 10.
Okay.
Yeah. But as long as you don't shake it for longer than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because what happens, or even leave the water inside the cup for too long, because then the water becomes too alkaline.
I see.
And that's not what we want.
All
right. So this is an iodine tester. It's a pH indicator. So I'm going to pour about 3 droplets inside. And then we're going to turn to our pH indicator and look at the color.
Okay.
And it's actually 6. It's on 6.
Okay.
So not even 6.5.
So it's lower than what is indicated.
It's lower than what is indicated then.
Oh,
all right.
Interesting.
And then now I'm going to take water from the alkaline cup to prove that alkaline cup removes acid from bottled water.
Okay.
And remember, it's not all bottled water that has got acidic pH.
Okay.
We do have some that have a pH of 8.
Sure.
Okay, you can immediately see
The difference.
that difference. Yeah, this one is yellow. It's the same water.
Okay.
The difference is that the other cup, a cup is consisting of water. That is from the alkaline cup.
Interesting.
So this is proof to you out there that the quality of water that you've been drinking, which we have proven that is acidic, you can actually change it and make it alkaline by putting it in the alkaline cup.
Wow.
And now you will have an alkaline level water. Now if you look at the color of the water, it is 8.5.
Wow.
So that's an indication that now the water is no longer acidic,
It's
but
alkaline.
alkaline,
Okay.
which is very healthy for us. Remember, I forget the name of the doctor, but he is the doctor that actually discovered that cancer cells can thrive in an acidic pH.
Okay.
So therefore, that's why it's very important for us out there to ensure that we move from acidic water and we adopt water that has got an alkaline pH so that we can give our bodies a fighting chance.
Wow. That's actually quite interesting. Maybe whilst we're still on that point, I'm actually just eager to know, this water over here, as you've just indicated, this is raw from that particular bottle and it's acidic. What happens if you take, because let's say for instance, I've been drinking directly like that, and it means now I've got, like I've pumped my body with that acidity. If I were to drink water directly from this cup, what effect would it do in my body?
Same effect. What we have seen is, for an example, we have got people who have heartburn. We have people who had muscle aches, as I spoke about,
Sure.
a buildup of lactic acid.
Okay.
I mean, the body is such a beautiful organ, such a beautiful, thing that it is able to get rid of all these other things on its own.
Okay.
So often there is an excess. Now, for the body to get rid of the excess, you may have to help it.
I see.
So I have seen people who had been complaining of muscle aches,
Okay.
and once they drink water from the alkaline cup, they have noticed that the pain goes away
Wow.
because
Okay.
it was able to drop the level of acidity in the body. People who suffer from heartburn, they have also reported that after drinking water from the alkaline cup, they have been able to experience some relief.
Wow, excellent. I'm very curious. I'm not sure about the audience that would be here. Can we take normal water, put it in here, without that iodine that we just used, and pour it inside here? I just want to see what's going to happen with that.
With normal water?
Yeah, normal water from the same bottle into the alkaline cup, and then activate it and pour it inside there. Let's see what's going to happen.
Okay, shouldn't we rather take this one? Because
maybe, because this is already bluish,
Okay.
let's see if it's like normal water, what happens,
So we pour normal water in the alkaline cup.
Okay. I'm very inquisitive, so
I know.
I like experimenting and seeing.
Okay, so now this is acidic.
Okay.
Acidic
So
water.
basically
So
this is an
the
acidic
assumption would be-
environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the assumption would be once we pour this water in the cup, it has to turn.
I would expect that, especially if the effect of the alkaline cup, the water from this alkaline cup into the acidic environment, it would change this to become at least more alkaline pH.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
expectation.
All right, let's see what happens.
Let's see that. Wow. Interesting. I almost clapped hands. That's quite good.
So there are people who drink water. I see, ladies especially walking
Okay.
around with those big,
Yes,
2
yes.
liters of water, and I always ask them, what quality of water are you carrying?
Okay.
Yeah, are you carrying water that is alkaline, or are you carrying water from the tap that might have some microorganism, or are you even carrying water that has got sufficient mineral content for your body?
Okay, okay.
Remember, in water we have got all these minerals, and where do these minerals go? Into the cells.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Now that's also the wonderful thing about, or not also, but here's another great advantage of the alkaline cup.
Sure.
So the added advantage is we can actually see how the mineral content changes. We will have another episode where we will bring more testers to show you the different mineral contents, for example, such as zinc. So if you look at the mineral content from this one, there is no zinc.
Okay.
From this one, no zinc. And this one, there is no zinc.
Okay.
But the closest to zinc is magnesium.
Oh,
and
okay.
why is zinc important? Zinc is important because it helps, just in simple terms, it helps boost the immune system.
Okay.
There are many other functions of zinc. We obviously get it from our diet, but oftentimes we don't eat enough food that contains zinc. In men who drink alcohol,
okay,
they actually have low levels of zinc because alcohol depletes zinc levels.
Sure, okay.
So if you want to have a healthy immune system, you don't want to be sick regularly, I would encourage you to switch your water and start using the alkaline cup.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So basically what you're saying to me is that just with this cup, I could actually add more days or years into my life.
Of course. I mean,
wow.
Yesterday we were talking about how you address a rich man. A rich man might not be interested in money,
okay,
but he will be interested in any product that is going to help prolong his life so that he can enjoy his wealth.
Wow, that's actually quite
What
interesting.
is the point of having all this money
exactly,
and not being able to enjoy it?
Well, I think I remember that. That was on Sunday when we were talking to SD Sean. Yeah, that's actually quite powerful.
Yeah. So what are some of the other benefits? I already spoke about zinc. There are tourmaline stones that release about 13 minerals. We already mentioned some of the minerals.
Okay.
Another added advantage is that the water from the alkaline cup works as or serves as a fat emulsifier. So it breaks down the fat. Again, in the second episode, we will do this experiment where we're able to show how oil, so you pour water in 2 glasses, one with oil, one from the alkaline cup and one from the tap or bottled water.
Sure.
You will realize that, as we know, it's common knowledge, water and oil do not mix.
Yeah.
But with water from the alkaline cup, you can see how the fat molecule easily breaks down.
Wow.
So that is proof that water from the alkaline cup is a fat emulsifier. And I know there are a few people who have come to me and said, I've lost weight, could this explain why?
Sure.
Yes, definitely. The alkaline cup is the reason why you have lost weight. But that is not to say you have to stop drinking water from the cup. It just means that your body is probably at the right weight.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But another thing that I've actually witnessed myself, because I use the cup all the time. Mine is even marked, with my initials at the bottom because everyone in the house has it. One thing that I've noted is that when I drink water from the alkaline cup, I feel even more hydrated, if I can use that word. Could there be any specific reason why I feel better hydrated when drinking alkaline cup water compared to when I drink ordinary water?
I'll be honest with you, I have not really gone into that. For me, it's just been, would be the same as any other type of water.
Is it? Okay, that's actually
But I know ladies who have said that after drinking water from the cup, they feel fuller.
That's it.
Yeah, in a sense that it reduces appetite or even some cravings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you'd find someone that says, I'm very thirsty, and he drinks something. Now, the thirst is still there. But for me, when I feel that way, and I take alkaline cup water, then I'm fine. It's quite interesting.
Awesome, very interesting.
What more can we expect out of this?
Let's talk about the reason. I mean, fat emulsify, what explains it? There has to be a reason. Okay, so the mechanism of the cup is in such that it breaks down the water molecule. So we've measured the water molecule, and it's measured at about 2.4. Tap water and bottled water. But as soon as you put it in the alkaline cup, it breaks down the water molecule to 0.5. All right? And that explains why it's even able to break down the fat molecule
Okay.
So this is when we refer to the cup having smaller molecular activity. What that means is it breaks down the 2.4 water molecule to 0.5.
I see. Okay.
And that also, the added advantage is that it's easier for a 0.5 nanometer molecule to penetrate through the cells.
Okay, that's actually, so the absorption level is much easier.
It's much higher.
Okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, we're learning.
And yes, we learn every day. So here's also another thing that's also amazing about this mechanism. I mean, any Longrich member will tell you about the anion.
Okay.
So what happens with the cup is that there's an anion exchange.
Sure.
Anion serves a lot of functions in the body. When it combines with oxygen, it helps with transportation of oxygen inside the body. We know that cells need oxygen to function, or the body needs oxygen to function optimally. We have also heard testimonies of individuals, particularly in one of the mines, where they were complaining, the miners were complaining of bronchitis. They were just complaining of issues with their lungs. And after taking water from the cup, we noticed that there was now a decline in the number of complaints. And that's because that's what the anion also does. Anion is the vitamin of life. So we all need an iron.
Wow. Interesting.
It helps with making the process of healing faster. It helps, so wherever in the body where the anion or where there's inflammation, what the anion does is it activates the body's own healing mechanism, and the body is therefore able to fight against inflammation and infections.
Wow. Actually, now you're going a bit deep. But now I wanted to actually ask you on the aspect of, and I'm not sure if maybe you've touched on it as part of some of the descriptions or maybe points that you highlighted a bit earlier, the oxidants and stuff. Like, I do understand that sometimes you'd actually find that there could actually be toxins that develop in our bodies based on whatever type of food and drinks that we take. How would this be helpful?
As an antioxidant. Okay, so as an antioxidant, what happens is inside our bodies we have got what we call free radicals. Yes. So the free radicals are actually destructive to our bodies. They starve the cells. Now we need to get rid of free radicals, and for one to get rid of the free radicals from the body, you need to take an antioxidant. And that is what you will find with the alkaline cup. I normally say if you are on chronic medication, you definitely need an antioxidant. Because what happens is when the body breaks down the drugs, there are free radicals that remain. So therefore, you need the alkaline cup to remove those radicals out of the body. A common antioxidant that mummies are, I find them to be a little bit interesting, that we give our children rooibos tea, which is high in antioxidant. But then when a child turns 3, they stop. They should actually continue with that.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And maybe as we move along with this, who can actually use the alkaline cup? Are there any restrictions as to say who can use it?
That's actually an interesting question. So, I mean, if you think about the benefits, it eliminates chlorine, it removes acid from the water, it adds about 13 minerals, it's high in zinc, there's an ion exchange, it breaks down the water molecule. I think we all need water from the alkaline cup.
Wow. So it means because we all need water, even better to get water from the alkaline cup.
So any human being that drinks water needs to, I often find that question to be interesting, that you'll find parents asking, must I give my children water from the alkaline cup? Yes, definitely.
Quite interesting.
Why must they drink poisonous water?
Wow. Actually, that's quite powerful, because I mean, but you're touching on something very, very important. Initially, when we started, we said water is important for everyone. Of course. But the more important part is that what type of water do you drink? So accessibility. Like you'd find households that are actually not very much economically viable and all that. does it mean every person in the house need to have an alkaline cup? How do we manage that?
Of course.
Especially given the size of the cup as it is.
Yeah, you get about only 250 mils.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, you know, how we can distribute
Yes.
water, you can actually pour water inside a bottle
Also,
and
you
store
decant it, okay?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
you can store it.
Wow, that's interesting. Wonderful. I'm actually very much intrigued on this, but I wouldn't want to take much time on it. I do know that we're going to have another segment where you actually go deeper and do other experiments on the alkaline cup as well. But as a parting shot, are there any specific aspects that you want to highlight that are critical at this particular moment?
Yeah. Okay. So if you drink water, make sure that it's water that's of good quality.
That's it. Yeah.
I would encourage you to drink water from the alkaline cup. Men with gout.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Men with gout, we encourage you to drink water from the alkaline cup. Pregnant women in particular, those that are suffering, or pregnant women that are suffering from heartburn. And also remember, the baby's excretions are acidic. So that also will help. So the woman's body becomes a little bit more acidic during pregnancy. So alkaline cup will become very helpful in that instance.
Sure. I'm actually very much armed. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've just been listening here, there's quite a lot of benefits that we can derive out of the alkaline cup. And my view is that as LBOs, when you go out there and do our sales, if we have this type of information, there is no way that we can actually turn back and not be able to sell this item. Because definitely everyone that we come across, they do need to live healthy lives and ensure that actually they can add more years and days, as we have said in the beginning, to their lives. And I like this. I think my clients are now going to be those rich individuals that are very concerned about their well-being and all that.
Yeah.
Wow, I like it.
And you know what's also great, just in closing, for those that suffer from babalas.
Okay.
Yes, for those that suffer from babalas, here is a cure for hangover.
Okay.
On those Monday mornings. Just give it a try and you will thank
I'm interested to know scientifically how it does that, but maybe that's a discussion for another day.
For our second session.
Excellent, excellent.
Right.
For the guys out there, Matota, you do know that Imbizo Matota is coming. We're having our men's session, men's conference coming up very soon. So there is also another aspect over there. And even to the ladies, if you love your husband, if you love your man, make sure they all have this alkaline cup to make sure that we can address babalas, gout, and whatever else that could actually be excellent. Our audience is actually quite excited, as they are here. I wish I could actually bring them in just to engage on us with this one. But we'll I don't know, Dr. Lesego, do you have a minute that we can bring them in, or
if they have got any questions?
Do you have any questions on any of this?
Yeah, one question I have, it's a common question from my customers who are taking chronic medication.
Okay.
When can they consume the medication?
Okay.
With the alkaline cup?
Wow, that's actually an
thank
important
you.
question.
Thank you for asking that, such an important question. All right, so in terms of when to take medication, before or after, all right, the rule of thumb is take your medication 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after taking water from the alkaline cup. And that's because in general, alkalinity minimizes or reduces the effectiveness of drugs.
Okay.
So they must not take their drugs with water from the alkaline cup.
Yeah. So not with the alkaline cup, preferably 30 minutes before
or 30
minutes
after.
after. Wow,
that's
interesting. Any more questions?
I think you answered my question. I
Excellent.
had the same question.
Okay, the last question I have is that how long can they use the cup for?
Okay, so the cup, it's got quite a long lifespan. However, every 6 months you must pour vinegar. I think it's a teaspoon of vinegar inside the cup, and then just shake it. And every 12 months you have to replace the filter that is inside.
Okay.
Yeah, just the filter.
All right.
Yeah.
And the vinegar, is it vinegar with water or just vinegar?
With water.
Okay.
Yeah, with water. They just pour a teaspoon of vinegar
Wonderful.
inside water. White vinegar.
Okay.
Excellent.
I have another question.
Okay.
I have a client, He take chronic medication 3 times a day.
Okay.
Is it possible to drink the alkaline cup?
Yeah, he must just manage his timing. Yeah. So I mean, if he takes his medication at 8 o'clock, then he can start drinking water from 8:30, 8:45, and then again midday, just 30 minutes after drinking his medication, or 30 minutes before.
Excellent. Thank you so much for those wonderful questions. Dr. Lesekwa, thank you as well for your time. Very enriching, informative session it was. I'm even more armed, because at least with the information that we have, I know that I can actually engage anyone, explain to them, and know the reasons why I'm actually advancing the sales of this particular alkaline cup. This is life.
Thank you so much for having me, Pastor Swiso.
Excellent. Thank you.